Azulet Meswithma, dear language learners, and welcome back to the enchanting world of Learn Tharifith. As you all know, this channel is not only for riffan language lessons, grammatical or vocabulary. It is also a place for us to know the historical figures and the historical events that happen in our region. And today, I will tell you the story of one of the most known persons of all time, a person that lived and still living in each house of the riffan regions. The story of Ralla Buya. Before the 3rd century, Romans were governing all the Mediterranean region, especially the little cities and towns of northern Rif region. But at the beginning of the 3rd century, Roman dominance over the North African region began to decline. The empire descended into internal conflict, leading to a civil war. By the year 230, Roman system crumbled, marking the beginning of 50-year era known as the Military Anarchy or the crisis of the 3rd century. The empire was victim of tyrants, cities were burned and destroyed, and countries depopulated in a civil war. Finances, the army, foreign politics, everything was managed in a very bad way. On the whole, the empire was like an ill and rotten body. It began to sink like a ship, and their leaders, very tired, were not able to find a way out. Many North African tribes that were still in Roman dominance were economically destroyed due to the land sanctions that were applied by Roman rulers. Romans were literally taking lands from indigenous people, from Amazigh people. These facts unleashed the anger of indigenous people, Amazigh people. And this anger led to violence and uprisings in all North African tribes. But since many native clans or native tribes were already Christians, they were converted into Christianity, which was the new religion that appeared in the Middle East, advocating peace, brotherhood, and justice between men. It provided a way for multiple Amazigh tribes to break free from the tyranny of Roman Empire. Thus, Christianity became a threat for Romans.
Ayub, please go directly to Buya.
I know, but please be patient as I play the role of a narrator. So, for all these reasons, the latifundists, which means people that own big portion of lands, began to organize their own private guards in order for them to protect their properties from rebel attacks. And by the way, Romans called the north portion of the actual Morocco Mauretania Tingitana. So, due to Roman weakness and also to the high armed Amazigh resistance, Amazigh tribal communities expelled beyond the borders of Roman lines. Now that we know all the circumstances, I will tell you about one of the main characters in our story. In the mid-3rd century, Caecilius, a Roman large landowner whose properties were severely affected by the disturbances of Amazigh tribes because they were trying to get back their lands. They were doing some resistant actions towards Roman landowners. And every time, these Roman latifundists get to recover the lands taken previously by Amazigh tribes. Caecilius, like many other latifundists or landowners, had control over the city and the tribes near the actual city of Raish, and by that time it was called Lixus, where he owned more than 900 hectares of lands, fertile lands around the Lucus River. I say this because they haven't submitted to the fatality. They have affected severely the landowners by organizing mini attacks each time, creating a kind of disturbance in their daily life. In the year 270, the emperor Domitian II placed Caecilius in command of an organized army in order to suppress the revolt that had already started in the riffan tribes within the Roman territory. The battles took 5 years between Roman army and Amazigh indigenous people, during which Romans burned, destroyed, and killed several families, several tribes, and several small cities in their territory, such as Benassa and Tamuda. In the year of 275, Caecilius and his troops arrived to a small town or small city called Tibernaini. And in this little city, Christianity spread absolutely. There were many thousand in this faith, and they were all against Roman invasion and Roman aristocrats that exploited their lands and enslaved their children. The leader of that tribe was called Yarmah, and he had one daughter called Themsment. The Battle of Tibernaini resulted in hundreds of deaths among the insurgent ranks. The Mauretanian Amazigh were defeated. However, for their victory over the rebels to be definitive in this region, the Romans decided to destroy the fortress city of Tibernaini, covering its streets with the crucified corpses of hundreds of its inhabitants. Themsment was only 3 years old when she witnessed the murder of her family and the destruction of her city, but she was too young to remember. After feeling pity for this young girl, Caecilius decided to save her from this slaughter and adopt her as her own child. Since the age of 8 years, Themsment was sent to Rome in order for her to study Greek and Roman literature. She studied also Latin and Amazigh, as well as the art of prayer and the art of war. And by the year 290, Caecilius was already on the brink of death when he summoned his daughter Themsment from Rome to transmit his legacy and to confess a secret that had tormented him for a long time. Because after converting to Christianity, Caecilius wanted to somehow correct his past mistakes, and he considered that he cannot achieve peace in the afterlife without Themsment's forgiveness. He revealed to her that he was not his true father and that he killed all her family. He revealed to her that he was not her true father and that her origins were not Roman but Amazigh. Few years after Caecilius' death, Themsment became officially a landowner in Mauretania Tingitana, the new owner of the city of Lexus. This fact displeased Aemilius Rusticus, who was the governor of a Roman province in Mauretania Tingitana also, who considered that Themsment is not a legitimate daughter of Caecilius. She cannot have the portion of lands, or she cannot have the heritage of Caecilius. So this Aemilius organized an attack to overthrow Themsment. But Themsment managed to escape from Lixus. She was received by her compatriots in the villages. She explained to them that she is the daughter of Yarmah, and she used her knowledge to rebuild the defenses of the city. So she began organizing a well-trained army and convinced the other Amazigh tribes to join her in this combat against Roman domination of their lands. In the year of 296, the Amazigh tribes under the lead of Ralla Buya, or Themsment, revolted against the Roman domination of their lands. Themsment's revolution turned a simple revolt into an anti-Roman revolution throughout Mauretania Tingitana. In a period of 4 years, Mauretania Tingitana plunged into chaos, which even paralyzed Rome itself, unable to send its legions to quell the rebellion. The Romans were defeated in Gandusi. Lexus transformed the state forever. I hope that you loved the story of Ralla Buya. Don't hesitate to comment, like, and share the video with your friends and family. We are near 1,000 members in this family. So thank you so much for your support, and Azul Khaibu.